And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, folks, today is a big old Thursday, and we are kicking it off finally. Now that the NBA season is officially over, we have time in the show to just focus 100% on the NFL, on football, and we got like 49 days until the start of the season, baby, so we got to get a crack-a-lackin' on our just kind of season refresh. We're going into a new season, folks. Forget last year. Forget it. Who cares? Your team didn't win? Well, they can win this year, and they are going to be going and winning this year. So we're just going to have a nice reset. We'll see what happened last season, see what every team is looking like, what their players and rosters did last season, so we can just have a nice little refresh up until this point so we're all on the same page. Who are we buying? Who are we not buying? Who are we rooting for going into the season? Who is going to be the Super Bowl champion? So now until the first start of the NFL game, we're going to be taking a random team and just doing a little bit of a refresher, getting caught up on what they did last year. Once again, who are we buying? What are their players looking like? Are we buying all their weapons, wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs? Do we believe that, their team is going to make that jump? What did they do last year? Offensively, defensively, what did they stack up? All of that. So we're all on the same page heading into this season. So we're going to do one random team every single day. I want to spend solid time on it, at least probably half hour, probably longer, more likely longer than that. With there being 49 days left in the offseason before the start of the NFL season, we can spend, maybe 2 days on some teams. Obviously, there's 32 teams. We can't spend 2 days on every team, but for some of these deeper teams that we really want to get a true sense of what they're going to be doing this season, we may spend 2 days on a team. So we'll look at the team, all their players, all that stuff, and then we'll see what their upcoming schedule is looking like, and we'll kind of walk through the schedule. What do we think they're going to go, and what's kind of their ceiling? And that's going to be kind of how we rank teams, because we also are going to kind of rank the teams after we go through their schedule and just keep track of how we see the teams faring this season in comparison to all the others. So that's what we've got on the show for the next 49 days, folks. And then also during this week, I still want to kind of finish these pre-training camp narratives to watch for, as we know that training camp opens up next week with the majority of the team. So we'll finish those as well for the next couple of days. Also, one last thing to kind of talk about. We're going to have a new background, folks. We just put in all the orders. We're all set. We got 3 new canvases. So there's going to be 3 new canvases behind us. No more Miami Dolphin theme. These canvases are what we preach about here on the show, folks. And if you listen to us, on the daily, you should have a good understanding of what's going to be behind us. We're also getting a new flag as well. So no more Miami Dolphins. There's no Dolphins player in the canvas or the flag, so that could help you decipher what we're going to have behind us. Hopefully they get here sooner than later. Had a custom order everything. So we'll see how that goes. And hopefully it gets here very, very soon, because I cannot wait. I cannot wait to show y'all what is going to be behind us, folks. Oof, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. A new NFL season starts, and we got to freshen up the background, folks. We can't go back in with the Dolphins this year. Come on. So that's what we're going to do today on the show. And man, oh man, I cannot wait, folks. Once we have that new background, this show is going to really start popping off. I'll tell you that. So let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And let's start here with the Cowboys, because they just had a little bit of a press conference yesterday. A lot of information on Dak, a lot of information on Zeke. So we can go through this article and see what Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy are saying about their players heading into training camp. And now they're on Hard Knocks, and we're going to get that great behind-the-scenes look, folks. Cannot wait to watch Hard Knocks for this Cowboys team, folks. Remember, we got some narratives already written for this Cowboys team going into training camp. Can Mike McCarthy McCarthy coach? That's a big one. Can Dan Quinn coach? Once again, that's another big one. And can Zeke get back to prime form? So that's the three big narratives that we are going to be watching on this Cowboys training camp, and especially kind of analyzing everything that we see in Hard Knocks coming up as well. So we get our first little insight on what they're saying, so let's jump right into this article and let's see what the Cowboys coaches and front office is expecting from their team this year. Here we go. The Cowboys learned plenty about change, expectations, and disappointment in 2020. Truly big disappointment. Yes, we all know Dak got injured, but there is still no excuse that that offense and team just could not put it together and at least win the division, folks. I mean, we were talking about 8 wins the division, and they still couldn't even get that without Dak. That's really, really not good, folks. Everywhere. Offense, defense, head coach, everything. All the players, really true letdown last season when Dak went down. A 6-10 record and a third place finish in a putrid NFC East, truly putrid, will have that effect. But for Dallas, a season of underachievement won't subtly relegate the Cowboys to the abyss of irrelevance in the NFL. In fact, the result was quite the opposite. Not just quite yet. I mean, we still gotta play. I mean, you could still fall into the abyss. I mean, this NFC East could still be real solid. The Giants should be way better than what they were last season. So, the Cowboys thinking, hey, we're gonna be way better than last season. The Giants are thinking the same thing. So the Cowboys cannot be entering this season thinking that, hey, we're, oh my God, we didn't have our quarterback and we still almost won the division. We were like half a game away from actually winning the division, so we're going to be absolutely even better than last year. Well, every team is thinking that, especially that Giants team that's getting better and healthier, and Saquon Barkley back in Washington now that they have a real solid quarterback. Folks, they had a new quarterback basically every single week, and every single quarterback that they threw out there was just really, really below average, like tier 3 quarterback in this league. Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, and Taylor Heineke. I mean, you're not winning games consistently against good teams with that level of quarterback play. Now you bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's got a nice little veteran presence around him, and Washington is going into this season thinking that, hey, we won 7 games last season, we're going to win a lot more this year. So this Cowboys team cannot get kind of ahead of themselves in thinking that they're a shoo-in to win this division. The work still needs to be put in, and hopefully the Cowboys don't just let all this kind of publicity go to their head, have all this, oh, well, we got Dak back, so we're easily going to win the division, go to their head, and then they don't go out and perform on the field because that defense is still going to be absolutely trash, and they're going to have to overcome that. So, alrighty, getting into this article, I'm a little nervous for this Cowboys team and what they're thinking and just their overall mindset that they are kind of, guaranteed front runners of this NFC East. Going into, before we have kind of our season reset and we officially look at all the numbers of what happened last season and all of that, I'm having this kind of Giants team above the Cowboys in the division. I think I go Giants, Cowboys, Washington, Eagles. I think that's how I rank the division before we kind of get into our reset and before we get into training camp. So pull it back a little bit, Cowboys. Pull it a tad back. But let's continue on. Here we go. The 2021 Cowboys will have NFL films and HBO sports lurking around every corner of their training camp. Such is the life of being America's team. The added attention is nothing new to the Cowboys, yet it seems Dallas is embracing the challenge of a brighter spotlight. Take Ezekiel Elliott, for example, a star running back who didn't look much like one in 2020. Absolutely. Here we go. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy spoke with media members Wednesday and said Elliott has been around the team during most of the offseason preparing for the 2021 campaign. Elliott is taking matters seriously, attending not only his position group meetings, but the quarterback and offensive line sessions too, McCarthy said. Quote, he's been a great example. That's great. All right, now we can start buying Ezekiel Elliott a little bit more. And I'd love to, kind of buy into him. The running backs in this league, they're when they're elite, they are one of the best things to watch on NFL Sundays, folks. I mean, when we were watching Derrick Henry go for his 2,000-yard campaign last season, I mean, man, that's almost must-watch television. So if Ezekiel Elliott can get back up to, what we say his prime status, the narrative that we're watching for, I mean, now we can buy this Cowboys team even more. So love that Ezekiel Elliott is truly putting in the work. Like the article said, like we've said, last year was just super underwhelming by everybody, and especially Ezekiel Elliott for not stepping up. He didn't even have 1,000 yards rushing last season. How is that even possible when you have to work with Andy Dalton for the bulk of the season? I never got that. I still don't get it. It's been almost a full year, and I still am puzzled and perplexed on what the hell the Cowboys were thinking last year offensively. You better run that man into the ground this year, folks. Jeez. But I'm glad that, he's energetic. He's going to the quarterback meetings, the offensive line meetings, all that to truly understand this offense and to truly be ready week 1 to have that all-star campaign. So watch out for Zeke this year, folks. All right, let's continue with the article here. Elliott is far from the only star with a camera lens trained squarely on his face. Dak Prescott is returning from a significant ankle injury that torpedoed Dallas's 2020 campaign, and he'll undoubtedly be a central focus of both Hard Knocks and the media attention from the start of the camp. And that is, true. I mean, we have to see how Dak is going to, recover from that injury. But like we said, he's like the one that we are least worried about. We know what Dak does. Dak's always had real solid years. Let's go to his stats really quickly here. Here we go. Dak Prescott. I mean, I don't think this man's ever had really a bad year just as a pure quarterback. His pure numbers, what do we get? I mean, look at these completion percentage, folks. I mean, this is what we're loving right here. From 2016 to 2020, this is what we got. 67%, 62, 67, 65, 68. So exactly in the range, folks. He's thrown for 4,000 yards once. In 2019, he threw for 4,900 yards. Ooh, man, that's fantastic. We're not worried about this man. We're not. He's got 3,800 yards, 3,600. Once again, it's real good for, especially when you have Ezekiel Elliott to kind of workhorse running back that was rushing for about 1,600 yards his first couple of years there. And then the touchdown and interception ratio is always 2-1. This is just going from 2016 to 2020. We got 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, what the hell? That's a great rookie year, folks. 67% completion percentage and then 23 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions, and he played every single game? Oh, my goodness. Fantastic. Year 2, 2017, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Not 2-1, but close little outlier season. We'll give him a little bit of a pass. Because he makes up for it kind of 2018, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2019, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and then just last season, only played 5 games, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So we're not worried about Dak Prescott. The arm is always going to be there. The weapons are there. And the kind of mainstream narrative is that, Dak is only really good when he's got elite wide receivers around him. A lot of people credit Dak's success to Amari Cooper. Yeah, I think it helps out a little bit. I mean, if we're going to kind of go down that route, then you have to kind of say the same thing about Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs, because Josh Allen has not had a good year without Stephon Diggs. So if we're going to kind of play that with Dak Prescott, you're going to have to play that with a lot of other quarterbacks around the league. And that's why I don't truly buy into that narrative that Dak is truly only good when he's got elite receivers around him. I still think he's a real solid option out there. Obviously, weapons. Everybody wants weapons. They make you better. They allow you to make those more dangerous throws. That's why, Aaron Rodgers is butthurt with the Packers organization because he doesn't feel like he's getting all the weapons he should be getting. But we're not worried about Dak. We don't even have him in our narratives, folks. That is not a narrative that we are watching for because we're already just assuming he's going to be fine. We assume the ankle's really not going to be that much of an issue anymore, and he's still going to be that great leader and great thrower of the football. So we're more concerned with Zeke. We just saw him for the entire year last year and was looking absolutely trashed the entire year. If Dak, we don't really picture Dak doing that ever. So, and then, Mike McCarthy, his coaching, because why did he not run Ezekiel Elliott 1,000 times last season? That makes no sense. The fact that Ezekiel Elliott didn't have 1,000 yards last season, that is big old red flags to us. When your main quarterback goes down and you have to rely on your running back that you've already paid big money to, and you don't give him 1,000+ yards rushing, we can't get behind that. And then Dan Quinn. Obviously, the defense was trash last season. Dan Quinn was still kind of questionable. He's a big question mark whether he's a good defensive coordinator or not in this league. And that's a little bit more of an interesting narrative to us than is Dak Prescott going to be good. So, yeah, obviously, we'll watch Dak Prescott in Hard Knocks, obviously. But it's like, we're not worried about him. Let's see the other narratives that we're trying to watch for. But let's get back to the article here. McCarthy believes Prescott is prepared for the challenge and is in a good place on his path back to the field as the Cowboys meet for training camp this week. Quote, I see for him to be a full participant. It's still a projection. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, we'll watch it. But, they're coming out to training camp this week. They start this week. They start a week earlier, like we said, just because they had that the first game of the season. Cowboys-Bucks, going to be a great one. I believe on Thursday Night Football, September 9th. I believe that's the date. Yeah, I mean, they're expecting him to be good. It's still a projection, they say, but, we're talking about a couple of days. You know what I mean? So, truly think he's going to be all right there. Really no issue here with Dak Prescott. Hopefully, knock on wood. We're kind of tossing that out there all willy-nilly. All right, what else do we get here in this article? Here we go. The Cowboys' chances rest on the status of Prescott, whose departure forced Dallas to turn to Andy Dalton, Ben DiNucci, and Garrett Gilbert through the remainder of the ill-fated 2020 campaign. After delaying signing Prescott to a lucrative long-term deal ahead of the 2020 season, Dallas quickly learned how important Prescott was to the franchise once he was no longer available. And once again, Jerry Jones, I think he's starting to kind of come around to be like, hey, maybe I don't know everything. Because also in this press conference, he kind of broke down in tears talking about Jimmy Johnson and how he kind of fucked that situation up. And then he didn't pay Dak Prescott and paid Ezekiel Elliott, and then saw how last season went and paid Dak Prescott immediately. So this could be another huge thing. Maybe this should have been one of our narratives to kind of watch out for. Is Jerry Jones turning a corner? Is this man going to be like, all right, I don't know everything. Obviously, whatever I've been doing has not been working because we just cannot even get close to a Super Bowl. So I'm going to leave it all up to, the people that know football, that, get it done on a regular basis. Mike McCarthy, I know we do kind of, shit on him a little bit. A little lotly, little slightly a lot. But, he did win a Super Bowl ring, so I still have to give the man credit. So maybe that's what Jerry Jones is doing here. He's like, all right, y'all always said it was me. And I thought that was blasphemous, but I can't deny the records that we've been going. So I'm going to give it to y'all this one year. I'm going to give it to y'all. But next year, if you're not getting it done, it's going right back to me. And I'm making all the calls out here. So maybe Jerry Jones is turning a little bit of a corner here and is acknowledging all of his past mistakes and is trying to move on to win that Super Bowl ring finally. The Cowboys applied their new lesson when they signed Prescott to a 4-year deal that will pay him $40 million per year. Whew, yes, sir. Get paid, Dak Prescott. Truly deserved, in our opinion. And, locked up for $160 million. No big deal. Bidding the lingering elephant in the room adieu while before the 2021 season arrived. Quote, I think Dak's rare, Stephen Jones said, Cowboys vice president. We made him the highest paid player in the league for a reason. He's unique, and he's got the numbers to back it up. Would like to see him have a couple more 4,000-yard years. Obviously, he only has that one, but that was just in 2019. So you would expect him to keep throwing for 4,000 yards plus, and then just unfortunately he gets injured in 2020. Only plays 5 games, and in 5 games he passed for 1,800 yards, folks, in 5 games. That is 371 yards per game, folks. Absolutely magnificent. Let's just kind of get his track, because that may have broken. Is that going to break 6,000 yards? Is this math going to be right? What do we got? So 5 games, he had 1,800. There's 16 games in the schedule, so he missed 11 games, throwing for 371 yards per game. That's 4,000 yards. You add 1,856 to that. He's at, folks, Dak Prescott could have had the best year of all time. 5,900 yards. Could you imagine if Dak Prescott threw for 5,937 yards last season? Folks, Dak would have broken every single record. He would have been a 6,000-yard quarterback. That's never been even close to happening in this league. Oh, man. Dak got robbed of that last year, folks. Dak's not the issue. We can guarantee that. That's why he's not the narrative that we're watching for, folks. So we are truly big on Dak. He is unique. If the man threw for 5,900 yards last season, I would have already called that man the GOAT. I don't care. No rings. I don't care. You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. Jeez, man. Yes, pay that man. Oh my God, $160 million. Jeez. All right, what else do we get here? With that out of the way, Dallas now has a clear objective in sight: to win a Lombardi trophy. Jerry Jones quote here. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious here, but the facts are that I would right now if I could, and I knew I had a good chance to do it. I would do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl. So once again, Jerry Jones turning this corner, folks. I mean, he's admitting that he's wrong. He's admitting that he's fucked up in the past, and he just wants the Super Bowl. He knows time's ticking on him, and this, he's old. He's old, folks. We all know how old is Jerry Jones. What's his age? I don't want to be too disrespectful, but I'm gonna go high 80s. What do we got? Jerry Jones' age. Oh, man. Okay. A little younger for his age, but he's only 78. But he knows time's ticking, and he knows he needs to get to a Super Bowl fast to really just kind of cement his legacy here in Dallas. And he's admitting all of his wrongs, folks. All right, quote, that's a fact, and there's nothing in my mind that can have a higher priority than that, winning the Super Bowl, saying that he would do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl. Hey, why don't you, sponsor our show? You said you do anything. Come sponsor our show. I'll get you to the Super Bowl. I can get you there. So sponsor us. We can get you that Super Bowl ring, Jerry. All right, last quote here by Jones. Quote, I feel as driven as I was when I first bought the team. I was scared to death then, and I'm scared to death now. I worry about what's happening out here in the economy, the COVID, and I worry about our place in the NFL and where that place is in sports. I worry about that. But the thing that means the most to me, that I care about, and I can probably be anywhere in the world, I want to be right now. I want to be here with our team. So we're hearing great things. Ezekiel Elliott's ready to kind of get it done. Dak Prescott, obviously we know he can get it done. Jerry Jones admitting his faults, and this could be a dangerous Dallas team. A dangerous Dallas team that just had the shit beat out of them last year, that really said, hey, y'all are not that great. Hey, hello, you're America's team, but you're actually kind of fucking trash. You're actually garbage out there. And they all are looking in the mirror, and they're like, yeah, we are kind of fucking trash. Let's go get this shit done, y'all. Let's go get this done. This may be the most humble Cowboys season in the entire history of the Cowboys franchise. This could be a little bit dangerous here. So after yesterday's press conference, I think we are buying the Cowboys a little bit more. And did they just kind of surpass the Giants in our kind of NFC East prediction? I think I'm loving the humbleability here. Everybody's humble, and I gotta love it, folks. I think I'm putting the Cowboys over the Giants so far. Man, oh man, I'm loving everything I was hearing right there. And Dak Prescott almost throwing for 6,000 yards is definitely the cherry on the top. Man, oh man. So watch out for the Cowboys, folks. The humble Cowboys are here. I don't even know if I would ever said those words ever in my entire lifetime if it was not for this article right here. The humble Cowboys are here, folks. Watch out for them. Jeez, man. Woo. Cowboys are going to be great this year, folks. Man, oh man, they may go undefeated. Damn. All right, let's keep going here. Talking about Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. He says he's remaining patient regarding a new deal, saying, quote, everything will play itself out. All righty, so we know the kind of great year that Baker Mayfield had last season, ended up getting to the playoffs, won a playoff game, absolutely fantastic. You love to see it. This Browns team truly kind of turning the corner, turning the edge. Last season, threw for 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 62% completion percentage. Real just solid numbers. These are kind of, game manager, above average game manager numbers out here. And, he's going into next season, and he wants to try to get a deal done, but he's not rushing it. And if I was Baker Mayfield, I don't know if I would rush it either, because these are solid stats. These are good stats, but these are not, quarterback going out there on his own and basically winning the game by himself stats. Like we said, above average game manager, a Ryan Tannehill-esque, where you have a great running game, where you've got great receivers, where you have a real solid defense, where you just have to go out there and be the game manager. You don't need to make the throws like Tom Brady. You don't need to make the kind of wild throws like Aaron Rodgers does. You just need to go out there, deliver the ball accurately, safely, chunk plays, take the checkdowns if you need to. You are not there to win the game. You are not there to lose the game. You are there to just deliver the ball. And that is not a knock, folks. That is not a knock. I mean, there's, separation. There's tiers to quarterbacks. There's elite of the elite. And that's, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. The names. They've got multiple Super Bowls. They're always in a winning season. Then, you've got, great quarterbacks that just have garbage teams. You got Deshaun Watson, definitely one of those. You may be able to put him, I don't know if you can put him in the elite of the elite yet, but, maybe that one step down of elite quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is still kind of in that category too. And then you have above average game managers. So, I mean, we're about like 3 tiers. That's kind of like the third best tier to be an above average game managing quarterback in this league. And that's Ryan Tannehill and Baker Mayfield. So far, is there any? I think those are really the only 2. And then everybody else is just, average-ish, and you don't want to be in that category. So we're not knocking Baker Mayfield here at all. I mean, his season last year was absolutely fantastic. We are not knocking that. He was making all the right reads, making all the right throws, and they led themselves to a 11-5 season. It was absolutely great. But, I want to see what he can do this year. Maybe he can put up that 4,000-yard season. Maybe, Kevin Stefanski can kind of get this offense rocking a little bit more than it was last year. So if I was Baker Mayfield, I would remain patient as well. I want to see what I can do this year. I don't think I would want a deal going into this year with my, above, kind of like above parish, slightly above parish stats. Let's see what I can do this year when I've got that entire last year under my belt and I'm moving forward with this team that should all just generally be rising here. So if I was Baker Mayfield, I would not be tripping about no deal. I'd be like, hey, I'm waiting until next year. I may even wait till 2 years down the line. Who knows? So let's see what he's saying out here in the article. And that's another great thing about Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's not making himself, the face of the franchise. He's not making himself the story of the day by holding out and demanding a contract and saying it's all me. So that's another kind of big praise we can give Baker Mayfield, not being in the spotlight. I mean, we hear for all the times from NFL teams, they don't want to be in the spotlight. That's why Saquon Barkley is keeping his lips tight, because he doesn't want to, make himself the focal point. He wants y'all to not talk about them or just talk about the team in general, not singling himself out as the main guy. And Baker Mayfield's kind of doing the same thing here, so I absolutely love that. But let's see what he's saying out here. It's late July, and if you ask Baker Mayfield how he feels about his contract situation, he's going to tell you the same thing he's been telling the rest of the sporting world since April. Winning is what matters, and the rest will take care of itself, he'll say. In fact, he said so again Wednesday, quote, I'm about winning, and yes, sir, that's what, oh, man, I love that. Win. Yes, money's always great, but we play to win. I watch sports so I can see the winning. I want to see the winning. So when players and, great players, elite players say they're all about the winning, that's what I'm talking about, baby. All about the winning. Love it here. And I think everything will play itself out. I'm not worried about it at all, because if we win, we're headed in the right direction. And once again, if they're winning, Baker Mayfield's going to get paid more money. If they're winning, he's probably putting up bigger stats, which once again is going to lead to more money, more incentives. If you're hitting this target in your contract, if you're hitting this goal, that goal, then you're getting paid more money. So he's got the right thinking. Let's just win first, and everything will work itself out. Love the attitude here. Cleveland's arrow is oriented in a positive direction entering the 2021 following the franchise's first playoff berth since 2002 and the first postseason win since 1994. Mayfield is well aware that last season means nothing to the new campaign, of course, and is saying all of the right things about how he and his team will approach 2021. Quote, "We have a fresh start. We have to keep that foundation and build on those blocks we've already laid down. Nothing's going to be given. We have to go out and work for it. It's not going to happen just because we're the same players, same system. We have to go out there and do our job." So once again, he's saying all the right things here. This is kind of, what we're hearing and want to hear from the Bucs team. Yeah, we won year one and we're all returning, but that was just the foundation, y'all. If y'all thought that was good, wait till this year where we're building on all that progress that we made last year. We know we can't just kind of, rely on being the same players and the same schemes and the same system. We know we have to build on that. But that's exactly what we're going to be doing, building on that great foundation that we set up last season. And that foundation for the Browns with their two great running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, both rushing for 1,000+ yards. The defense being real solid. Kevin Stefanski knowing what it takes to win as a head coach in this league. Baker Mayfield knows what it takes to win at the quarterback position in this league. Winning 11 games, almost beating the Chiefs in the playoffs. I mean, what better could you have wanted from last year building onto this year? So we'll see if Baker Mayfield can get it done, folks, this year. We get any more quotes? No, not from Baker himself, so we can be done with this article. But, hey, he's saying all the right things out here. We're loving it. We're liking what we're seeing from him. We'd like to see his stats get up a little bit more. Like we said, these are good stats. These are good building block stats. But now we're going into year 4. We want to see a 4,000-yard season being thrown out here. Dak Prescott didn't get his 4,000-yard season till year 4. So Baker Mayfield can probably try to kind of follow that kind of quarterback trail. We got, Josh Allen stepping up year 3. We're hoping Daniel Jones steps up year 3. And now we're looking to see if Baker Mayfield can step up year 4 and be that great elite passer that we need him to be to really put this Browns team over the edge to be a Super Bowl participant and not just, a deep playoff run participant, deep playoff contender. Obviously, the goal is to win. He said it himself. He wants to get that Super Bowl trophy. And it has to be just a smidge better than what we saw last season of 62% completion percentage and 3,500 yards. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here, talking about the Raiders. The Raiders general manager Mike Mayock says John Gruden and Derek Carr's relationship is like a corny marriage. All right, this is what we've been hearing all the time. I mean, we heard from Kenyon Drake. I mean, he just got here to this Raiders team, and he's already like, hey, Derek Carr and John Gruden, I don't know what it is. They just understand each other. They get each other. They understand their own language with each other. So that's kind of the biggest thing that we do like about this Raiders team. But overall, at the end of the day, what do we always say? It does not result into wins. So that's where our little bit of a question mark and hang up gets on this Raiders team. But let's see if we can get anything here in this article. Probably not, but we'll see what they're saying out here and if we can get any nuggets of information on this Raiders team. So here we go. The John Gruden, Derek Carr coupling enters a pivotal year 4, folks. Year 4. This is a 4-year building. They signed John Gruden to a 10-year deal. This is year 4, so this is why there's urgency right now on this Raiders team, folks. We've given them the excuses. We've given them the free passes. They've ran out of their free passes. It's do or die, and like we said, we looked at Derek Carr's stats, and they're real freaking great, folks, and then we look at John Gruden and his coaching history, and it's always lackluster. So who are we really blaming here? I think Mark Davis made a little bit of a mistake signing John Gruden to 10 years. 10 years, folks. What the hell is that? 10-year deal? You give 10-year deals to Patrick Mahomes. You don't give 10-year deals to John Gruden, who was out of coaching for decades. But we'll see. This is it. The pivotal year 4. They say it right here. So the John Gruden Derek Carr coupling enters a pivotal year 4 as the Las Vegas Raiders seek to get over the hump finally. It's a relationship that has been through ups and downs, but has grown tighter through the battle. Joining the NFL Rhodes show with Lindsey Rhodes recently, Raiders general manager Mike Mayock said the quarterback-coach dynamic is like watching a married couple. Quote, they're definitely on the same page. Derek is even finishing John's sentences now. It's like a corny marriage. It's really funny. Yeah, I'm glad it's funny, but can we put a good product on the field and start winning games throughout the entire season and not just the first couple of games and floundering in the back half? Can we win consistently here? You know, they say it's like a marriage. Well, most marriages end in divorce, so that's not the best kind of analogy to use here for this Raiders team. Because if, I'm Mark Davis and I'm like, I got to keep one of these two, I'm keeping Derek Carr over John Gruden. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the good quarterback over a coach that hasn't really ever proved anything in his career, folks. And the fact that this man has studied the film, the man was studying every NFL game for multiple years, getting the inside information during the kind of production meetings when you meet with kind of the personnel, the coaching staff, the players, to get an inside look, to help the telecast and your kind of, your analyzing abilities. That's what they do. We see it all the time, the pre-production meetings. They talk about the pre-production meetings all the time. And the man had years on years and years with different teams and different coaches and different schemes and studying the games. I mean, that's what he did, folks. That's what he did. He had his own quarterback camp. And now he comes into the league with all that knowledge, and the best he can win is like 8 games? What? And, if he wasn't getting it done in the beginning of his kind of tenure in the Raiders organization, why do we think it's going to get better as the years progress? I mean, you had all that knowledge. Year 1, you should have been bursting onto the scene. You should have made such a big impact that all the coaches were kind of retooling their thinking on how to win in this league because you had all the answers come year 1, maybe even year 2. Maybe I'll give them a year 1 break. But now we're going into year 4, and we'll see if it pays off. I mean, everybody's questioning his draft. They all said he overreached in the first round for that offensive lineman, and now we could potentially be seeing the same garbage kind of overall team that we've been seeing for the last 2 seasons this year as well. So big question mark here on John Gruden. Big old question mark. But let's keep up with this article. Do we get anything good? Comparing them to a marriage is never really that great. Never great. All right. During Gruden's initial run as an NFL head coach with the Raiders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was well known as a fickle supporter when it came to his quarterbacks. The coach cycled through signal callers, chasing the next ideal. So when he joined the Raiders for his second stint, the assumption was that the relationship with Carr couldn't last. Heading into year 4, however, all indications from within the building are that it's as strong as it's been since day 1. Mayock noted that Carr's ability to tackle anything Gruden throws at him has helped keep the relationship fresh. Quote, I don't know if Derek has a photographic memory or not, but his memory is mind-boggling. John puts a lot on his plate and he handles it seamlessly. The 2 seasons I've been here, he's gotten better each year. I'm excited to see where he can take these things. So this is, once again, we heard the same thing from Kenyon Drake when he was talking about, the quarterback coach duo relationship, saying, man, oh man, Derek Carr handles everything with ease, with precision, with perfection that John Gruden throws at him. And now the general manager, Mike Mayock, is saying the same thing. So once again, if this is going to end in a divorce, this marriage will end in a divorce, we have to keep Derek Carr. It's just John Gruden's not giving Derek Carr the right knowledge, throwing the right things at him to go out and win the game. So I truly think it's coming, the lackluster, just the lacklusterness of this Raiders team over the last 3 seasons is because of John Gruden and not Derek Carr. So we'll watch for that this season. Definitely got to watch for this. Is it Derek Carr? Is it John Gruden? We'll definitely know more. I mean, after 4 years, do we give them any more time, folks? I mean, that's kind of like the cutoff, make it or break it year. Some coaches don't even get 3 years. Some coaches don't even get 2 full years. I mean, Matt Patricia didn't even get 2 full seasons, folks. So I don't even think Adam Gase got 2 full years. I think he got 2.5 years. So we're giving John Gruden 3 going into 4 years. We'll see. We'll see if he's got the goods. This is going to be a huge year for them. They've got the pieces. We rave and gush about their offense all the time, but John Gruden's got to be a little bit better throughout the entire year. All right, let's keep moving on here. Now talking right back to the Rams. Ever since Cam Akers has been injured, we've been talking about the Rams every single day. We just looked at, their backup running backs and loved Raymond Calais. We think he should be kind of their number 2 running back. Xavier Jones and that Frank guy never really did it for us, but when we watched Raymond Calais, it was absolutely fantastic. But now we get Eric Dickerson, obviously a great legend running back for the Rams, says he thinks the Rams should sign Todd Gurley, saying, quote, that's a no-brainer. So we had our initial take that we thought the Rams should go sign Adrian Peterson, a nice veteran to have to back up their running back room. Then we just talked about yesterday on the show that Sean McVay was like, yeah, we're not in no rush. We're going to kind of do next man up mentality and see what they can do in the in training camp coming up. And now we got Eric Dickerson. His voice says, hey, y'all should go sign Todd Gurley. So Eric Dickerson on the same page as us. We'll take that. We'll take that. We think we definitely want a veteran presence because maybe one of these kind of, backup running backs will hit like Raymond Calais. We believe he can. But at the end of the day, you're not going to have like 3 deep, and you don't really need 3 running backs deep. You definitely need 1 A1 tier 1, or you need 2 real solid to be kind of a running back by committee. And Adrian Peterson can provide that huge veteran leadership that they're definitely going to want here in the running back room, just because Darrell Henderson's only been there for 2 years. He's going into his 3rd season. Cam Akers was going into his 2nd season. So it's still a young running back room, and having that nice veteran presence. You have the nice veteran presence at the quarterback position, so that's going to help out the wide receivers as well, and even the offensive line. But then if you bring in Adrian Peterson, that's going to help out, just kind of solidify the offense even more, getting that offensive line help, being the veteran to the running back. So, number 2 and number 3 are all on the same page and learning from a true legend of the game. So let's see why Eric Dickerson is saying why they should go with Todd Gurley. So here we go. The moment the devastating news dropped that Los Angeles Rams running back Cam Akers would miss the entire 2021 season due to an Achilles injury, speculation started about who Sean McVay's club might bring in to help replace the running back. Big-name veterans like Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, or Frank Gore have percolated. I don't know if we go Frank Gore. Real solid. He believes he still has it, so, I'll let him go wherever he wants. But I think I'd choose Adrian Peterson over Frank Gore. Another popular player is former Ram Todd Gurley. Hall of Fame Rams running back Eric Dickerson told TMZ he believes a reunion with Gurley is the best way to go. Quote, that's a no-brainer. I mean, he knows the offense. He knows this offense. He doesn't have to come in and try to learn it. He knows McVay. He knows the guys on the team. That would be an easy fit. And absolutely, that would be a huge, easy fit. But we still need some production on the field. It can't just be, hey, we know y'all, so you can come right back in. We still need that good production. And let's look up what Todd Gurley did, because he had all the kind of advantage in the world to take advantage of being running back number 1 for that Falcons team last year. And I want to say he big time blew it. 678 yards in 15 games, 9 touchdowns. Once again, just it's a good running back 2. It's not a great running back 1. I mean, we want 1,000 yards from our starting running backs. And if you're going to put it up 600 yards, that's basically running back number 2. I mean, only rushing for 45 yards a game, nothing great. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry, and that's pretty solid. That's about the average. 3 yards a carry is about the average for running backs. So he's still decent. But I think we need a little bit more production out there. And just the way that they just kind of threw him to the side. I mean, Sean McVay is truly just throwing everybody to the curb here. Jared Goff, goodbye. Hey, I can't win with you. Goodbye. Todd Gurley, I mean, yeah, I know we told y'all, you were the face of the franchise and you are our guy, but you got old man knees. We can't keep up with that. You got to go. I mean, this is a business, and Sean McVay is just cutting everybody at the throat here. If you're not able to win at a high level here in the NFL, you got to go. So I don't know if Todd Gurley would love to get back here to the Rams. I think it was a little bit of a sour breakup. And how they handled it and all that. So I don't know if Todd Gurley would want to go back and play for the Rams. And I truly don't think Sean McVay would really want this man back. Yes, he knows the offense and he knows the guys, and that definitely helps out. But you don't need somebody to come in and be the running back number one. Darrell Henderson can still be running back number one. He's been here for the last 2 seasons, so he still knows the organization. He still knows the scheme. He knows the coaches. He knows the offense. So you just need to bring in a little bit more depth, and so that's why we don't put too much priority on signing Todd Gurley over an Adrian Peterson, over a Le'Veon Bell, or even over a Frank Gore. We still need some solid production out there. All right, one last quote here by Eric Dickerson. But for Dickerson, who is currently listed in the Rams front office as VP of Business Development, a reunion with Gurley makes too much sense to pass up. Quote, at the end of the day, football is this business. That's what it comes down to. You got to make business decisions. You got to make business decisions that are good for the football team, and the player has to make decisions that's best for him. And that's what we're saying. I just don't think that's going to be the best business decision. Bringing in somebody you kind of threw to the curb because they were used goods, worn out goods. Don't think that's the best for the business side of it. So, Sean McVay, he says, hey, we're not in no hurry, so don't expect them to be in a hurry to sign a running back. Let's see how week 1 of training camp goes. Let's see how well Raymond Calais really shines in the training camp, and let's see if one of those 3 running backs can emerge as running back number 2 here for the Rams. All right, last thing to talk about, and I'm real interested to see why this man said this, but we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see it in the article. But Bengals Mike Daniels says Joe Burrow is, quote, like baby Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I don't know if I want the only reason I would want to be compared to Aaron Rodgers is because of the great arm strength. That's really it. The leadership is not there. The leadership is that's really it. The big knock. I don't want to be compared to his leadership at all. His leadership or is just kind of superiority complex thinking. I don't want to be compared to that either. But let's see why. Is it just pure talent? Because I don't know if we saw that from Joe Burrow year 1. Let's bring up Joe Burrow's stats quickly. Obviously, he went down a little late in the season. I think he went down like week 11 or week 10. Let's get that up really quickly. He went down week 10. He played 10 games, so went down week 11, mid-game, game 10. But through his 10 games, 65% completion percentage, real solid there. 2,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, which seems a little low right there. I mean, you kind of double it out for the 16 games, and I mean, we're looking at under like 25 touchdowns. That's not the greatest. 5 interceptions, that's real solid. I'll give him that. 2,600 yards, he was averaging how many yards a game? What do we got? 268. Let's kind of round this up, or let's kind of extrapolate it through. So he missed 6 games. 6 games at 268 yards. That's an extra 1,600 yards. You add that to the 2,688 that he threw. Hey, he was at 4,200 yards. That's pretty solid. I'll give him that. At 65% completion percentage, yeah, we'll definitely take that. So, all right, maybe a little bit Aaron Rodgers-esque out here. So let's see what this man is saying. So here we go. Joe Burrow got off to a hot start in his rookie campaign before an ACL tear sideswiped the quarterback season. Truly that. Since stepping foot in Cincinnati, Burrow has impressed veteran teammate Mike Daniels, who spent 6 seasons with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So he knows Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Daniels joined NFL Network's Good Morning Football on Thursday and reiterated his comparison between the two quarterbacks. Quote, You know what I say about Joe Burrow, man. That's baby Aaron. Okay. Last November, Daniels similarly hyped the Burrows-Rodgers comparison. 10 days later, the Bengals quarterback season ended with a devastating knee injury. So that's not good. 10 days from his original kind of take of comparing Joe Burrow to Aaron Rodgers, he gets injured 10 days later. So when did this come out? This was just yesterday? Today? This is not good. 10 days from now, Joe Burrow's going down again, folks. Watch out. Damn. So that's not great. We just hexed the man. Damn. The ACL tear didn't dampen Daniels' optimism on the young quarterback's ability to lead the Bengals to the promised land. Quote, you don't see many rookies step into a locker room, and you can tell. You would think he's a 4-year vet if you didn't know who he was. To have that at the quarterback position, that means he has the right type of savvy, the right type of poise that you only see from guys like Aaron. I've been saying this since I got here. I see a lot of similarities between the two. I'm just excited to be able to be a part of that, man. That kid's got a lot to him. He's got a lot of upside. He's only going to get better. You talk to Who Dey Nation, man, they're going to let you know Joe Burrow is the savior, man. He really is to this organization. So he's a great leader. Like Mike Daniels said, if you didn't know he was a rookie, you would think he was a 4-year veteran. And I think this is kind of, the up and coming quarterback classes that are really just kind of taking everything really by the reins year one. I really think Justin Herbert took everything by the reins year one at that leadership position. Patrick Mahomes really did it. Obviously, we know he had that kind of 1-year sit, and then got in his second year. Lamar Jackson thrown right into the fire. I think he really kind of took control of the reins. Tua a little bit as the season progressed. Really kind of took the reins and really just ran with it. So we'll kind of see how Joe Burrow progresses here year two after coming off the injury and all that. Can he forgive the line for being garbage line blocking lineman that got him, obliterated ACL in the first place? But Mike Daniels is still comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, and that's definitely a big meatball in the room. I mean, we're kind of saying that Justin Herbert's going to kind of be like Aaron Rodgers a little bit in just how we talk about the future quarterback as potentially the greatest of all time. And if Joe Burrow is going to be compared to Aaron Rodgers, he's going to have to be in that discussion of potentially greatest of all time talent. So we'll see how he does here too. But Mike Daniels, he's big on him. So we'll see if we can get big on get big on Joe Burrow as the season progresses. Now that is definitely a narrative that we are going to be looking for on this Bengals team going into training camp. How is Joe Burrow looking after the injury? Because an ACL injury is truly big, folks. I mean, that's ACL, MCL, and Achilles injuries. I mean, that is nothing to play around with, folks. And we'll see how Joe Burrow handles it. Everybody loves to talk about, Tua was damaged goods because of his hip. Well, he didn't get injured year one. So, man, Joe Burrow, man, maybe he's the bust of the draft class. We'll see. All right, those are all the stories that we needed to talk about. But before we get into our NFL refresher, let's go through the NFC West. Is that the first one we got up? The NFC West, and kind of get our 2021 NFL training camp narratives to watch for done with the NFC West. We got to kind of go through the entire teams, all the NFL teams before next Tuesday when the training camp starts. So let's start talking about some narratives to watch for that are coming up in training camp. So we're going to do the NFC West today. So let's start here with the Seattle Seahawks. What are the narratives that we really have to watch for? Well, there's one narrative that we will not be watching for because we've said it's been squashed. We don't even want to talk about this. We really don't want the media to keep bringing it up because we knew 2 months ago, last month, and now once again it's getting reiterated again. The narrative that we do not need to watch for is, how is the relationship between Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll? Is Russell Wilson still upset that, he didn't have the offensive line and that kind of outburst in the start of the offseason saying, hey, I don't like getting hit and I will demand a trade if I need to? That's really kind of done. That's over with. We don't need to keep talking about that. We've heard from Russell Wilson. We've heard from Pete Carroll. They both said they've squashed the beef, and I truly do believe that. I don't think that's just something that was said to just kind of take the media off their back. Because Russell Wilson, like a true kind of great vet in this league, knows whatever you say is always going to be kind of taken out of context and just ran within the media until they are done running with the story. So that is a narrative that we will not be watching for, folks. That's not what we're looking for. We know it's going to be good. So really, what do we have to look for in training camp? It's really they're just their new offensive coordinator. That's really it. I think it's Shane Waldron. Is that correct? Let me look that up real quickly. Shane Waldron, I mean, we heard that from Russell Wilson. It's looking all great. He said he's taking contribution from everybody on the team to really kind of streamline the offense a little bit more. And that's really the only narrative we really have to watch out for. Can Shane Waldron get it done offensively? Let's write that up. Can Shane Waldron get it done as offensive coordinator? That's our kind of big narrative to kind of watch for. Everybody else on the offense is real solid. DK Metcalf going into year 3, that's not something that we really need to watch for in training camp. That's something that we'll observe in the regular season. But then the other narrative I kind of want to watch for in the Seahawks is, how is Jamal Adams looking? We want him to be 100% fresh, 100% healthy this season. How is he looking in training camp going into his second year with the Seahawks? Because that's going to be the main focal point defensively. I mean, we know the rich history here of the defense here in Seattle, the Legion of Boom. I mean, probably one of my greatest defenses ever, honestly. Richard Sherman, and that entire crew, Earl Thomas, all of them. I mean, just absolutely magnificent in the backfield. But this new Seahawks defense, it could get kind of a new name. This could be a new kind of big level defense, but it's really all going to start and kind of be formed around Jamal Adams. So, how do we want to write this? Jamal Adams, year 2. Leap, should we say? Year 2. I guess we could put year 2 leap. Not really a leap that we're looking for. We're just looking for some consistency on the health-wise and out there on the field. So we saw Jamal Adams. I mean, he was like top 10 of sacks last year, like 9.5. So we know this man's an elite safety. He's all over the field. We just want to see him real healthy and truly kind of leading this defense, being the captain of the defense, and really just kind of being... Was Richard Sherman kind of the main? I don't know. I mean, Richard Sherman's real great, but I don't know. I keep blanking on the safety's name, but Earl Thomas was also great as well. So let's see if Jamal Adams can kind of, hype up this defense, maybe make a name for themselves here in the training camp, and see if he can just kind of truly bring this defense up to top 5 elite tier defense in this league. So that's what we're really looking for with the Seahawks in the training camp. Shane Waldron, how is the offense looking? How is the offense running? Are they doing great things offensively like they should, because they have so many weapons? Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, we even believe in, running back wise. And then Jamal Adams, the leader, the captain of that defense. Got to see him do it up in year 2. Alrighty, now let's talk about the Rams. What is their narrative to watch for? Well, this one just kind of developed and fell right into our laps. It's who's going to be running back number 2? Who's going to step up? So that's the big narrative. That may be the only narrative to really watch for. Who's stepping up as running back number 2? We're putting our money. Let's put this down on paper. We've said it enough. We'll write it down officially. We are betting on Raymond Calais. He is currently their running back number 4, according to the depth chart in ESPN, which we believe is a little bit disrespectful. But who's going to step up? We got to see somebody step up here. Cam Akers is a huge blow. So that's one narrative to watch for. Another narrative to watch for is, do they sign a running back vet? Does Sean McVay give in and sign a running back vet? We believe he should. Let's write that down as well. They should sign AB or AP. AD all day, Adrian Peterson. Yeah, that's really going to kind of tell us how this Rams running room is looking. If they sign a vet real early, that kind of tells us, hey, this is kind of an open running back competition. If they sign a running back late, that tells us, man, oh man, we've got trash on our team, and we really are going to be living and dying by this veteran in the running game all season long. So that's something that we can definitely keep an eye on. Defense is good. I mean, you got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. I mean, we know that's going to be fantastic. And I guess the last thing to kind of look for is just how is Matthew Stafford fitting in. We think and kind of have been hearing that it's looking good already during the OTAs and the mandatory minicamps and all that. But now that we're actually in the thick of it with training camp, let's keep small eyes on Matthew Stafford. And that's kind of our three narratives to watch for this Rams team. All right, now let's talk about the Cardinals. Woof, what are going to be their training camp narratives going into this season? Alrighty, well, we got a whole new cast of, well, not even a whole new, just really one, AJ Green. How does AJ Green fit into this offense? That's going to be kind of number one, because if AJ Green can get to his prime form, and then you have D-Hop in his prime, and AJ Green kind of channeling his inner Bengals prime, we've got elite weapons for Kyler Murray to work with throughout the entire year. So how does AJ Green look early, fitting into the offense? Other than that, what happens with Larry Fitzgerald? We really want him back. What happens to him? We really want to see him back to try to win a ring. We think this is probably his best opportunity to win a ring here in Arizona. And then the other one is just Cliff Kingsbury. Can he kind of, once again get the offense going and be a solid coach in this league? Because they've got a talent on talent on talent, an abundance of talent here. And let's see how Cliff Kingsbury is running the offense and just running the team early. So we'll get that. What is Cliff? Is he going into his third year? What is this? I think it is third year. Let's see quickly. His coaching history. I think he's going into his third year. All right. Oh, he's going into his fourth year. So yeah, this is truly it. Can they get it done? Year 4 with Cliff Kingsbury. So 2019. Oh, no, it is third year. They already have it marked for 2021. So going into his third year here. Year 1, they go 5-10-1. Year 2, they go 8-8. So we have to see another increase in wins here. Definitely at least 11 wins and really kind of truly being in the playoffs. That's really what we have to really stick the bar at for this Cardinals team. So that's going to be our couple narratives to watch for. How does AJ Green fit into the offense? What happens to Larry Fitzgerald? And how is Cliff Kingsbury running the team going into year 3? And then let's see Budda Baker. Let's keep our eyes on him. Can he be one of the elite corners in this league? Can he be top 3, top 5 corner? So we'll note that as well. Budda Baker. Budda baked this beat, folks. All right, and then the last team in the NFC West here, training camp narrative is the 49ers, and we all know this one, folks. Can Trey Lance make the week 1 starting job spot? Can he take that? Can he take that away from Jimmy Garoppolo? Is Trey Lance looking so freaking great early on that you just make the switch, you pull Jimmy G out? The only reason why they want to move off of Jimmy G is just because of the health. That's what we're hearing from Kyle Shanahan. Every time he opens his mouth, he's like, we love Jimmy, and he's a real great quarterback, but this man can't stay healthy. So that's the only reason why they brought in Trey Lance. But is Trey Lance just looking so good, we're like, let's just start him right off the rip? So Trey Lance, starting job? Question mark. What else do we get here? Health? That's another thing. Can they finally not get injured every single day of the week? Can they stay healthy? That's really it. They've got, a solid defense. You got Nick Bosa coming off the line, so you automatically win there. Just health, offensive health, defensive health has truly just hurt this team for the last 2 seasons, folks. So can they stay healthy? And that's really all we have to look out for this 49ers team in training camp. So Trey Lance, is he going to be able to beat out Jimmy Garoppolo? Does Jimmy Garoppolo even stay healthy for the entire training camp? How unfortunate would that be? And then just the overall health of the team. Everybody needs to stay healthy, and if they don't, you need to fire every single team doctor on this team and start from scratch and urgently because you need to stay healthy if you want to win in this league. So those are the narratives that we are going to be looking out for the NFC West teams, folks. All right. We'll do more tomorrow. We'll probably go up to, what do we got tomorrow? The NFC South, and look at those narratives. Saints, Bucks, Panthers, Falcons. Some good ones there. All right, but let's go into our season kind of refresh. What happened last season? Let's put it all in perspective. Let's see what their elite playmakers are doing. Let's see what their schedule is looking like this season, and let's gauge it. Let's see what they can probably do. What's their ceiling? What's their floor? What do we think is just going to happen? So we are going to do one NFL team every single day. Maybe we spend 2 days on a team depending on how much there is to talk about on that certain team. And we're going to just do random teams every single day. Going to go right off the random. Hopefully this makes good. Hopefully this is good content. If we can't do it live, if today goes disastrous, then we will pre-plan going forward. But we like to do everything live here. So let's see what we can get. First team of our 32-team NFL 2021 season refresher before the season begins. Are y'all ready? Here we go. Spinning the wheel. Wheel is spun. It's slowing down. And the first team we're going to be talking about is... the Denver Broncos, baby. All righty. So let's start talking about the Denver Broncos. And also, when we're done talking about them, like I said, we're going to walk through their schedule. And then we're also going to kind of keep a track of a list on just how we are ranking these teams going into the season as well. So we can kind of keep track of our early season predictions, our preseason predictions, if you will, and kind of track that as the year progresses. So today, we are going to be talking and covering the Denver Broncos. So let's just bring up what they did last season and start going from there. So the Denver Broncos, baby. We know the biggest kind of conversation on this Broncos team is who's going to be the quarterback. We believe it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. We believe he's going to kind of beat out Drew Lock out there. We'll go through Teddy Bridgewater stats and all that, folks. We're going to be covering everything Denver Broncos. But let's just get a nice recap on what they did last season. So they went 5-11 and finished last in the AFC West. So you got to be a little bit better than last season. They also had their same head coach, Vic Fangio. So once again, pressure is on Vic Fangio out here. What is this, his 4th year with the Denver Broncos? He's going into his 3rd. Alrighty, so we got to see something real solid from him this season. Like we said, most coaches get about 4 years. If you can get a nice 4 years and you do nothing in those 4 years, you're gone, and you're going to have to try to figure this out somewhere else. So Vic Fangio kind of in a make it or break it year, try to set that groundwork so when it comes to year 4, your contract year, usually you really need to kind of put up or shut up. You've already had that good foundation year 3 to build on year 4, and then you get the extension after year 4. So big season for Vic Fangio coming. Alrighty, let's see what they were doing last season. Let's see who they faced. So they opened up the season with the New England Patriots and ended up winning 18-12. Very well done there. Hang on. I messed that up. I thought the first 4 weeks were preseason. That is my fault. But first game of the season, they opened up on a 3-game losing streak, folks. They lose against the Titans, the Steelers, and the Bucks. And now we know those are kind of elite teams. Now that we saw everything that happened last season, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Bucks were really kind of real solid teams, especially in the beginning of the season for the Bucks, kind of more towards the later end of the season, or early in the season for the Steelers and later in the season for the Bucs, really when they caught their stride, but they were still losing to these teams early on. So week 1 against the Titans, they lose close 14-16. Week 2 against the Steelers, they lose 21-26. Once again, still a decently close game, one possession game. We can get behind that a little bit. But then week 3 against the Bucs, and they kind of get blown out 28-10. Then they finally get their first win, but it's against the Jets, so it's not a real quality win. So really, we're talking about 3 wins. We said they got 4 wins a season. I don't know if we can really trust or count this Jets team as a win, but they go 37-28, winning that game. So we'll give them a little credit for that. They go on a bye week after the win against the Jets, and then they come off the bye with the good win against the Patriots, winning 18-12, real solid. But now they're facing another good team. Once again, this Patriots team overall was really not great. How many wins did they have last season? 6, 7? 7-9. Cam Newton couldn't really do anything. So not beating the good teams out here. Then they go and face the Chiefs and get absolutely obliterated 43-16. Jeez Louise. Then they go and beat the Chargers. Real kind of solid win there. Probably their best win so far of the season. And they only win by 1 point, 31-30. Real close game. Then they go to Atlanta and get not blown up, but they lose by 7 points, 34-27. They lose to the Raiders, 37-12, real blowout there. They go and beat the Dolphins, 20-13, unfortunate for us. And then they go and lose against the Saints, get blown out by the Saints, 31-3. They lose to the Chiefs again, real close, 22-16. But you're in the division, you play them a little bit closer, but overall you're getting blown out by really kind of solid, above average teams out there. Then their last win is against the Carolina Panthers, winning 32-27. Oh, let's see what this quarterback battle was, because this is who the 2 participants are going to be: Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. So they face head to head. Who had the better overall game here? Week 14, folks. Here we go. Drew Lock, 21 of 27. That's real gosh dang good. Dang. What's that in percentage? Let's get a number on that. That's 77%. Damn. All right, Drew Lock. And then he threw 280 yards and 4 touchdowns and no picks. Damn. Woo! Drew Lock had a great game. Love it. That's fantastic. Can Teddy Bridgewater do a little bit better? He had 30 of 40. What is that? That's 75% completion percentage, so still real solid there. 283 yards, 3 more yards. Unfortunately, no touchdowns thrown by him, but he also didn't throw any picks either. Got sacked 4 times, though. Drew Lock only got sacked 1, so the pressure was getting up there. Teddy Bridgewater did have a rushing touchdown, and then they just had 2 rushing touchdowns by Mike Davis for their points. But real just kind of similar. I mean, Drew Lock threw touchdowns, so I'll give him a little slight edge over Teddy Bridgewater just in the head-to-head matchup. Man, oh man, that's real solid. Damn. Slinging the ball away, both of them. 77%, 75%. We love it either way. So truly going to be kind of a in-deep quarterback duel out here, a quarterback competition, and that's what we've been hearing from everybody inside this Broncos locker room and organization, is that they are really going to use the entire training camp and even all 3 preseason games to determine their starting quarterback. So the head-to-head matchup, I'll definitely give Drew Lock the credit for that, folks. Absolutely very well done there. All right, back to the schedule. That was their last win against the Panthers, and they ended up losing their last 3 games. They get blown out by the Bills, 48-19. They get decent loss against the Chargers, 19-16. And then the last game of the season, real close loss against the Raiders, 31-32. So they ended up winning 5 games. In a couple of games, they were 1 possession, real close. So they really could have bumped up their wins. This realistically could have been the Raiders game at the end of the season, 1 point loss. That could have been a win. The Chargers, 3-point loss, could have been a win right there. The Chiefs, 6-point loss. Once again, could have been a win right there. Any other close ones? Yeah, we'll give them those 3 close ones. Maybe the Steelers week 2 when they lost by 5, but we potentially could have been talking about 8-8, 9-7 Broncos last season. So they really are decently right on that cusp of being a decent kind of wild card team if they get the quarterback right. So since we're talking about the quarterback, let's quickly look at Drew Lock's overall stats from last season. See what he was doing. Drew Lock, 57% completion percentage, and this is where we run into a little bit of a wall. Yes, he was still being decently competitive in games, but overall, these stats and numbers, they do not align on what we need. Now, he only played 13 games last season. What games did he miss? Here we go. He missed week 3 when they faced the Bucs. That was a loss. He missed week 4 against the Jets, so he didn't even play in that Jets game, folks. It was just a team. You can beat the Jets easy. And then he didn't play in the blowout loss against the Saints. So 2 of the 3 games that he missed were losses. 1 of the games, which he probably would have won anyway, was a win. So we really think that Drew Lock was the best option at quarterback last season. So he should kind of be the main competitor against Teddy Bridgewater for the starting job this year. But these stats, going back to these stats, like we said, these are really, really not good stats, folks. 57% completion percentage, 2,900 yards, absolutely very not great. And then 16 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions. He tied Carson Wentz for most interceptions in the year, folks, at the quarterback position. So that's, once again, very, very not good. And let's look at what Teddy Bridgewater was doing. Let's get Teddy Bridgewater stats up really quickly. Because, once again, Teddy Bridgewater didn't win that many games. Same thing like Drew Lock didn't do. Teddy Bridgewater went 4-11. Drew Lock went 4-9. So, once again, nothing really great win column department-wise. But Teddy Bridgewater stats, 69% completion percentage. Fantastic. He had 3,700 yards, which is right below. We want to see you at 4,000. So, 3,700 is still solid. It's not great, but it's solid out there. And then he had 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. So once again, very, very low touchdown to interception ratio. Same thing with Drew Lock though, but Teddy Bridgewater has better completion and more yards than Drew Lock does. So overall, in the scheme of things, I think we put Teddy Bridgewater on. Like we said in the head-to-head matchup, they were very close. Just Drew Lock had 4 touchdowns and Teddy Bridgewater didn't have any. And that's a knock on Teddy Bridgewater. He's not throwing a lot of touchdowns. The most touchdowns he's ever thrown was 15. I mean, he played 16 games in 2015 and he only threw for 14. Now, rushing-wise, is he a big rusher? He only had 5 rushing touchdowns last season for 200 yards. So this man's not like a dual threat quarterback out here where, well, yeah, he's only got, 10 to 12 to 15 passing touchdowns like Cam Newton because he'll go and run for 10 to 15 to 20 touchdowns as well. Teddy Bridgewater's not like that. So this is going to be a nice little open quarterback competition here for this Broncos team. And we think it's going to be Teddy B. Let's quickly... like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but let's see. Can we actually? I want to watch this game head to head. Let's see if we can get this up quickly. I just kind of want to see what they're looking like when they're on the field together, folks. So let's see this quickly here. When was this matchup? We've got Game Pass up. We love ourselves some good Game Pass out here. Best $100 you could ever spend, honestly, if you're a big fan of the NFL. Watch any team, any game, any season. I think it goes all the way back to 2011. All the playoffs included, Super Bowls included, and, the games on a week-to-week basis. It's fantastic. But let's figure out where this head-to-head meeting went, December 13th. All right, doesn't seem like it's going to let us do this. This is not loading. All right, can we do this? Broncos, Panthers, 2020 highlights. See if we can bring this up. All right. Here we go. We're going to just skip around through this. We just want to see how they're looking, how both of these quarterbacks are looking in the same game. This game was kind of, towards the later end of the season, so they all have, their kind of bearings under them. So we're just going to kind of take this one game of just how they're passing. We already saw the stats for this game. We saw the season stats, and they were, 10 Teddy Bridgewater's a little bit more accurate out here, but let's see how it's looking on the field. How are these passes looking? Are they dink and dunks? Are they deep throws? Who should be the starting quarterback? Let's watch this tape right here and kind of decide. Here we go. First one up is Teddy Bridgewater here on 3rd and 9. Just a check down right there. Defense rallies, and they're able to get the stop. But this man just returns a kick 6. You love to see this. Jeez. Look at that man go. Look at that man go. Watch out for this Broncos team, man. This kick returner, Spencer. Whoo, fantastic. That's some elite speed right there. So good special teams for this Broncos team. Love seeing that. We'll definitely note that. Fantastic. All right, let's get to some passes here. Here we go. Teddy Bridgewater, what do you got? 2nd and 6. Let's see it. Here we go. Nice little out route on the sideline, and that goes for the first down. Teddy Bridgewater handing it off. Don't care about that. All right, here we go. Teddy Bridgewater is going to take off right here on 2nd and 6. Let's see how this dual threat's looking. Right up the middle. Bingo, bango, slides down. Good, solid speed right there. I don't think he's faster than Drew Lock. Hopefully we can get some Drew Lock rushes to kind of gauge the speed. Teddy Bridgewater takes a sack right there, and that is a little bit of a knock on Teddy Bridgewater. We said he took 4 sacks in that game where Drew Lock only took 1. But now we get Drew Lock in the pass game here. Flips it out quickly. Look at all that pressure in his face, and he's cool, calm, collected out there, and just flips it for the first down. I might mark him a yard short, but that's still a great pass there by Drew Lock. Jeez, that was great. All right, they hand off the ball. Don't care about that. Teddy Bridgewater's back passing on 1st and 10, directing traffic. But, yeah, he definitely holds onto the ball way too long, Teddy Bridgewater, and he doesn't really feel the pressure a lot. So it's a little bit of a knock on Teddy B. But let's get back here to Drew Lock. What do we got? Play action pass. We know he loves to sling it and go deep. Here he is. Oh, wow. Real great coverage there. Real great throw. About 4 players all around the wide receiver, but he's able to fit it in exactly where it needs to be. Very well done to Drew Lock. Here we go, dropping. Oh, my God, that man just got blasted right here. Woof, this is the 1 sack that he had in the game, and it's a hell of a sack. That pressure just came. Did he lose it, too? He fumbled. Wow, it's going to go for a fumble 6. Does he finish? Oh, drop down. The big fella dropped down at the 3-yard line. But let's see what Teddy Bridgewater can do. And that's what we said. We just saw Drew Lock with league high 15 interceptions. And then we just see a fumble that was very close to leading to a touchdown. We get Teddy Bridgewater inside the 5-yard line off that turnover. Let's see if he can punch it in here and capitalize on the turnover. They go, hand off the ball, and then it's just a running back right up the middle. So that's why, Teddy Bridgewater's not throwing 4 touchdowns like Drew Lock was, because Teddy Bridgewater is just putting them into better positions overall and is, forcing Drew Lock's fumbles a little bit. There's Drew Lock on a nice little first down pickup. Here we go. Nice little pump fake, airing it out. Bingo, bango. This one's wide open, but it's very well done. It's got there. Nice to Jerry Jeudy. And once again, Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a little bit of better receivers here with the Broncos. And that was another big plus that we had on Teddy Bridgewater over Drew Lock, was that he made both receivers on the Panthers 1,000-yard receivers. We are going to have to check that in a second once we're done kind of watching this tape a little bit. To see if Drew Lock, what did he do with the weapons that he had? Here we go. On the goal line. Here we go. Drew Lock play action pass, and then puts it right on the money there. This is fantastic. I mean, very, very great right here. It's a quick, concise decision there by Drew Lock to just lay it up to the tight end in the corner of the end zone. That's everything that we need to see. Here we go. Back to Teddy Bridgewater. What can he show us here? Real quick throw on 3rd and 3. It was the right decision. It picks up the first. We want to see something a little bit deeper. Here he goes, escaping the pocket. This man oh man, I don't like the way that Teddy Bridgewater's handling this pressure here. Gets taken down for about a 15, maybe even 20-yard sack right there. Not great. Back to Drew Lock here on this side of the ball. Drew Lock flinging it, and man, oh man, that's on the run. Am I wrong? Am I liking Drew Lock a little bit better looking at this head-to-head matchup? Man, oh man. Oh, here we go. Is Drew Lock going to absolutely air this one out? There he is. One-on-one matchup with the wide receiver. He puts it right on the money. Man, oh, that's fantastic. That's a 40-yard bomb-ish, 30-yard bomb right here. And Drew Lock absolutely puts it right on the money. Once again, this wide receiver is wide open. So once again, the Panthers defense overall just wasn't that great. Two of these great throws by Drew Lock that we've seen were all wide open. We'll still give him credit, but, that is something to kind of watch out for. Here we go. The wide receiver, Robbie Anderson, kind of doing all the work there. That's just about a 3-yard dump off by Teddy Bridgewater that goes for about 20 yards. Here we go. Teddy Bridgewater on the double reverse right here. He goes out and throws a block. That's a pretty solid block by Teddy Bridgewater. Allows him to get 10 yards for the first down. I love his heart. Love that. Here we go. Teddy Bridgewater again. Oh, man. On 3rd and 5, going to the end zone, and it's just way out of bounds. No chance at the receiver to get that. Maybe we're liking Drew Lock a little bit more here. But once again, this next pass by Drew Lock, this is wide open. Nobody even in the frame, folks. This last guy is barely in the frame. Nobody even within 15 yards of this man. So, I don't know, man. Here goes the pressure. It's just a setup screen that goes for very, very, very... Does this go for the score? One, right down to the 1 right there. And then Drew Lock, just a play action pass on the kind of goal line. He's able to finish it off. Man, oh man, Drew Lock's looking real solid in this game. I'm not going to lie. We know this was kind of one of his best games that he had. 4 touchdowns, geez Louise, 77% completion percentage, which his career or his season was 59, not great. Was it 59 or something lower than that? 57, even lower. That's what I thought. I thought 59 was too high, and that's never a great sign when you say, hey, is 59 too high? You're getting into some trouble there. Here we go. Let's end it on this last Teddy Bridgewater one. Well, let's see how he capitalizes on this drive. Real great strike right there. They're down 15 in the fourth quarter. At the 8-yard line, Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback draw, and he rushes in for a touchdown. So, he can still be a little bit of a dual threat out here. Let's see the ending of this game. Teddy Bridgewater's got a chance to tie it up on this possession. They're down 8 points, 9 minutes left. Pick up the first down on 2nd and 8. Here we go, 2nd and 2. Wide open, bingo, bango. Robbie Anderson is going to take it for another 15, 10 yards right there. Teddy Bridgewater over the middle. Love that. Big old strike there. They're driving now. We forgot to see, we saw the Broncos won this game, right? But Teddy Bridgewater right here making a real great drive to potentially tie it up. But we got 3rd and goal right here from the 12-yard line. Teddy Bridgewater, oof. Man, he goes a little short. Didn't really try to get it all right there. A little unfortunate. Drew Lock, once again, look at this, folks. This bomb, this big old bomb here, once again, receiver wide open. I believe Teddy Bridgewater can make these throws as well. That kind of tells us, that kind of just shows us that this Panthers defense wasn't that great, and the receivers for the Broncos were just way more faster, able to get wide open. All these big throws were wide open here for Drew Lock to capitalize on. So that's why we're not truly buying into Drew Lock 100%, and I still think we're going to kind of stick with our pick that Teddy Bridgewater is the better quarterback of the two, and we'll have Teddy Bridgewater, showing these same type of throws, maybe even better this season. Now that he's with all this great elite wide receiver talent. So now that we're talking about wide receiver talent, let's see what Drew Lock did for all these wide receivers. Did he make all of his wide receivers, his top 2 wide receivers, 1,000-yard receivers last season, like Teddy Bridgewater did for the Panthers? So let's look at that real quick. Bring up their depth chart very quickly. All right. Receivers last year, obviously we have Jerry Jeudy. Let's see. I think he did put up 1,000 yards, which is very great. Rookie. Love to see that. And once again, this man's going to be potentially top 10 receiver this year in the league. And if you give Teddy B that, we'll love it. So Jerry Jeudy went right under 1,000 yards, 856. What did Cortland Sutton do? Did he have 1,000 yards? Let's see. Cortland Sutton last season, well, he only played 1 game, so that's a big old no. He had 66 yards last season. Alrighty, let's go to this. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Right here. Okay. And go starters and rosters. Okay, Jerry Jeudy had 856. Tim Patrick had 742. So Drew Lock didn't even make these great wide receivers 1,000+ yard wide receivers. Another reason why we're going with Teddy B over Drew Lock. His tight end, he had a 673 yards. So once again, that's real great for the tight end position. We'll take that. All right. Now, so we got the quarterback out of the way. We think it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater out here. Now let's talk about the running back. They got Melvin Gordon. Nothing really great that we really love about all Melvin Gordon last year, or just Melvin Gordon in general. He rushed for 986 yards last season. Real solid. 9 touchdowns as well. He's only broken 1,000 yards once in his career, which is, once again, not the greatest for a running back, where, we were a little kind of, confuzzled that the Broncos would get rid of, it's on the tip of my tongue, something Patrick, is that right? Damn. Phillip Lindsay, that's it. They got rid of Phillip Lindsay, who was going into his 3rd year this year and had back-to-back 1,000-yard running seasons. So it's real bizarre that they go with Melvin Gordon, who's just kind of been a mad running back his entire career. He acts like he's kind of this elite tier running back, like a Derrek Henry, like a Delvin Cook, like an Alvin Kamara, like a Christian McCaffrey, something like that. But he's really nothing like that. So little disappointed in the Broncos overall with Melvin Gordon. Let's go to what the Broncos did this season in the offseason. Who did they lose? Who did they pick up? Let's start talking about that a little bit. All right, so Denver Broncos offseason. Here we go. Alrighty, so the additions and re-sign, they get Justin Simmons back, they get Kareem Jackson back, so once again, their defense is going to be real solid. They bring in Ronald Darby, a real solid corner. They get Bobby Massey, Cameron Fleming on the offensive line, shoring that up a little bit. And they get Shelby Harris on the defensive line as well. And then they just really kind of lose Elijah Wilkinson, a tackle, but once again, they kind of beefed that up in the offseason as well. Let's go to their draft. What did they do for their draft? Who did they shore up on their draft? Really just need to see a real good, solid defense out there. We do believe when we look at this depth chart, it's a real solid just kind of pieces-wise. Teddy Bridgewater, Melvin Gordon, he's a workable. They also bring in Javonte Williams, a rookie. That's one of their pickups from UNC, who's, we didn't really love the running backs here too much. We only really liked Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. We do have Javonte Williams 3rd for our running backs on our running back big board, so we'll see how he kind of pans out this year, and if he can be a real solid, just kind of a number 2 running back for this team, or if he goes and wins the starting job over Melvin Gordon, because I don't think it's going to be that hard for Javonte Williams to do if he's just a solid running back. All right, the wide receivers of Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler. What did KJ Hamler do last season? He's 5'9", so not the tallest drink of water out there. Rookie last season for 381 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we'll see how he fares in year 2. Defensive now, what do we got? They got Bradley Chubb, real good linebacker right there. Obviously, you got Von Miller, Kyle Fuller, Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, and Ronald Darby. So their backfield, their DBs are going to be real solid back there. So, an overall, just a real solid team put together. But let's go back to their draft and just kind of see who they kind of shored up their team around during the draft. So, here we go. What are we talking? Denver Broncos. Alrighty. So, they go with Patrick Surtain, cornerback. So, once again, just shoring up their defense. And you already have Ronald Darby, potentially Kyle Fuller there, and then Patrick Surtain can be kind of a number 2 corner or just a number 3 relief corner out here. So shoring up their defense, you love to see it. Round 2, then they go with Javonte Williams, the running back. Then they go with Quinn Marinez, an offensive guard, Baron Browning in the 3rd round, and a linebacker. Then we go to Caden Stearns, a safety, Jamar Jackson, another safety. They pick up Seth Williams, a 6'3". Ooh, yeah, that's what we're talking about. You already got Jerry Jeudy. I want to say he's 6'1". We know he's real fast, so he can get open. What is Jerry Jeudy listed at? 6'1", exactly. What is Courtland Sutton? I want to say he's like 5'11"-ish. Oh, my God, no, he's 6'4". Oh, so they're going to have nice, tall receivers. That's what we're talking about, baby. And who was Teddy Bridgewater throwing to last season? Obviously, we know it's, one second. It's right on the tip of our tongue, folks. but we'll look it up anyway. So here we go. They had Robbie Anderson, who once again had 1,000 yards, but Robbie Anderson, is he tall? Is Teddy Bridgewater used to throwing to tall receivers? Robbie Anderson is 6'3", so Cortland Sutton being 6'4" is fantastic. And then DJ Moore, once again, another 1,000-yard receiving season last season. He is 5'11", so once again, shorter size as well. And then he had Curtis Samuel, who caught for 800 yards. So this man was close to having 3 individual 1,000-yard receivers, folks. You have to give credit to that. And Curtis Samuel is only 5'11". So Cortland Sutton being 6'4", their draftee in the 5th round being 6'3", Jerry Jeudy being 6'1", and good as heck. Teddy Bridgewater is going to run away with this starting job. I'm calling it, folks. I'll call it right now. So they just really shored up their defense, their offensive line, and got a nice couple of weapons because this team didn't really need anything specific to really put them over the top. They just shored up piece by piece here and here. So this Broncos team is really just set up for success, and it's going to be really the quarterback that really takes them all the way, and hopefully we can see Teddy Bridgewater potentially do that. In the 7th round here, they had 3 7th-round picks. They go cornerback, they go defensive end, and defensive end. So if one of these pass rushers can kind of, get it done, we know they've already got Von Miller, who can rush the passer very well. He just needs to stay healthy. Bradley Chubb can go and rush the passer as well. He had 7.5 sacks last season, so we'll definitely give him that. What do we got by Shelby Harris? I think he's got solid numbers now. Only 2.5. Okay. What else do we got on their other defensive end? Draymond Jones. He got anything good? Oh, he got 6.5. So, once again, they can rush the passer really well. They shored up their defense and offense throughout the kind of early rounds of the draft there as well. So, overall, this Broncos team is looking real great. Jerry Jeudy's looking real great. Melvin Gordon, we'll see how, he kind of gets it done now that he's the main man. No more Phillip Lindsay splitting carries with them. So, he's going to have the backfield for himself out there. All right, and then the last thing to just kind of quickly look at right here. Once again, their additions and departures. Denver Broncos right here. All righty, so they bring in, once again, Justin Simmons, Von Miller, Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, Shelby Harris, Kareem Jackson, and Teddy Bridgewater. Once again, all real great, proven players in this league, especially on the defensive end of the ball. This Broncos defense could be an elite defense, honestly. Possibly, potentially top 5. I think I could go as high of all those great pieces. Especially if Patrick Surtain really kind of emerges as a shutdown cornerback year 1, rookie year. We could be talking about something really great. They ended up losing Phillip Lindsay, which we absolutely hate. We hate that 100%. I'd rather see Phillip Lindsay in the backfield over Melvin Gordon any day of the week. They also lost a linebacker, Jeremiah Otochu, and offensive lineman Elijah Wilkinson, and cornerback A.J. Boye. Let's quickly bring up player profile. I want to see what this is not what we were looking for. How do we bring that up? Corners. Nope. Corners yard allowed. All right, here we go. Let's see. Since they did lose a corner here, A.J. Boye, let's see what A.J. Boye was doing against tier 1s. Are they really going to be kind of lacking in that department a little bit and really kind of need their other corners to truly step it up here? So A.J. Boye. A.J. Boye. A.J. All right, here we go. A.J. Boye. Last season. Here we go. Against Corey Davis, he gave up 3 of 4 for 56 yards. Demarcus Robinson, 3 of 3 for 24 yards. He didn't even play every game. He missed weeks 2 through 6. We missed week 9 and then missed week 14, 15, 16, 17. So missed a couple of games last season. Mike Williams, 7 of 10 for 82 yards. Henry Ruggs, 4 of 4 for 43 yards. Devontae Parker's 3 of 6 for 25 yards. Demarcus Robinson, again, 5 of 8 for 62 yards. So it's not like this man was an elite shutdown corner either. Couldn't stay healthy. So I don't think, losing A.J. Boye is going to be that much of a hindrance for this Broncos team. A nice departure for them. So not too bad overall there. All right, let's just read this little quote here by Bleacher Report on the Broncos offseason grade. Here we go. The Denver Broncos totally replenished their secondary after locking up star safety Simmons by adding Fuller, Darby, and Surtain in free agency and the draft. With Miller back to work with Bradley Chubb on the edge and the rest of the offseason, the defense mainly set that would be fine if not for the fact that Justin Fields was on the board when they took Surtain. But, they were confident with Drew Lock, and they just wanted another veteran quarterback to push him and see if they could potentially kind of, pass him for the starting job. I mean, do they really need another corner? Keep in mind Bryce Callahan and Duke Dawson Jr. were already on the roster and that they have pretty glaring holes at quarterback and offensive tackle. Rashawn Slater was also at the board at number 9. But once again, there was, a solid quarterbacks to be gotten. You could have still gotten Matthew Stafford. He was still a little bit in play. Teddy Bridgewater was still in play, and I believe Teddy Bridgewater is still going to be great. I don't think they really wanted to go and overreach for a quarterback. They wanted to shore up everything else because they could just try to train Drew Lock to be one of those above average game managing quarterbacks if all the pieces were right. So I don't blame and I don't put that much stock in the Broncos not taking a quarterback this season. Let's see how Teddy B plays out for them. It shouldn't be held against them that they passed on Slater because it wasn't until after the draft that Juwan James suffered an Achilles injury. But why not take a swing with Fields when he'd represent good value in that spot and the rest of your roster in pretty fine shape? Maybe they resisted because they thought they'd land Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay Packers, but that hasn't happened yet, so they don't get credit for it. And if they didn't draft Fields because they believe that strongly in Drew Lock or Bridgewater, that'd be a mistake. Lock often looked like a train wreck during a 15-interception sophomore season, and Bridgewater made it obvious in Carolina that he doesn't have what it takes to carry an offense. I don't know about that. Scoring, yes. He wasn't scoring the ball, but he was getting the ball in the hands of his receivers efficiently and promisingly. And that I think we can build off of. Once again, we have to remind ourselves that he was in a Matt Rule offense. First year of Matt Rule, he was in Oregon with the college system. So maybe it was just the offense overall. So I don't knock Teddy Bridgewater as much as the national media does, and I truly have him kind of big leaps and bounds ahead of Drew Lock just overall. So I'm not blaming the Broncos for not picking a quarterback in the draft, and I strongly believe in Teddy Bridgewater. Now, this is going to be the make or break year for Teddy Bridgewater. If he's the starter, I mean, we got to see something now. You've got everything around you, offense, defense, coaching, all of that, weapons all around you. Now it's time to make or break you. Can you get it done as the main A1 tier or just the main quarterback on this team? So I buy into Teddy Bridgewater one more year. Last thing here. Their handling of the quarterback situation cost the Broncos a high grade, even if the secondary looks pretty sick, and I believe they could have something special in Browning out of round 3. In fact, the defense might be very good in 2021, but will it matter? I think Teddy Bridgewater can just be that above average game manager quarterback, folks. I mean, when you have almost 3 separate receivers all having 1,000-yard seasons at 69% completion percentage, folks, I mean, folks, that's absolutely magnificent. 69%. That's great, folks. I mean, 69 to 57, folks, y'all don't understand how big of a gap that is. I think we got to give Teddy Bridgewater a little bit more credit than what everybody's been giving them. Alrighty, now the last thing to do before we round it out is just to see what their schedule is looking like and what we think the Broncos could be looking like record-wise this season. So here we go. We got their schedule up. Now, this is how we're going to talk about their schedule. Is that a winnable game? Is this a winnable game for this team, or is it out of the question a loss? When we're talking about, they'll win against the Giants, and then we talk about the Giants and be like, well, the Giants will probably win. We could be, giving both of these teams wins, even though they face each other. But we're just talking about overall, is this a winnable game, and what is their schedule potentially looking like, or their just overall record looking like on winnable games this season? All right, so here we go. Let me potentially write this down if I need to mark anything. All right, here we go. So first game up is against the Giants, and that could definitely be a winnable game for this Broncos team. They are on the road, which is unfortunate, but this Giants team were little tiny question marks around Saquon Barkley if he's going to be out there week 1, but overall that Broncos defense could be real solid. So this Giants is a winnable game. Week 2, Jacksonville. Oh, absolutely. That's winnable all day. I mean, everybody's new addition there in Jacksonville. This Broncos team, I don't think has really anything to worry about. Then they go and face the Jets at home, the first home game of the season, and we know kind of early mile high opponents can't deal with it in this young, inexperienced Jets team. Overall head coach, running back, quarterback-wise, it's an easy potential W for this Broncos team. Then they go and face the Ravens. Can't give them a win there. Now, they are at home, and that's definitely going to play into the benefit of the Broncos. So that could be a win there, but I am going to give them a little bit of a loss there. Especially with, all the running that they do, mile high air, lack of oxygen, maybe Lamar Jackson kind of gets a little winded a little early in the year. So we're going to count it as a loss, but this still could be a solid game for them to kind of pull off and win if kind of everything's going right offensively right from the get-go. Then they have to go into Pittsburgh and face the Steelers. I'm going to say early Steelers is going to be a little bit of a loss for this Broncos team. If they were at home, I think I would give it to the Broncos, but going on the road, it's going to be a little bit of a tough win. Then they have the Raiders early on, and I will give them a win here. They'll probably either win against the Steelers or the Raiders, so I will give this Broncos team another win. Then they have to go and face the Browns in Cleveland. Once again, this is a primetime game, but I'm going to give it to Cleveland for being at home. We'll see how kind of the defense, we know the Browns defense is really good, and we'll see, which quarterback is out there and how they kind of step it up. Then they have to go and face the Washington football team at home. Once again, I'll give them a win here. I can't trust this Washington quarterback. So we're at 5 wins going into the Cowboys game in Dallas. And this one's going to be close because this Cowboys defense probably is going to be really bad for the Broncos to potentially pull off the win here. It's in Dallas, though. I think I'm going to give it a loss. But, I mean, when we're talking about these losses, the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Steelers even potentially, these are still good games that they could win. So maybe, at the end we'll give them one extra win just to kind of bump them up a little bit because these are still winnable games. These are not out of the question, not winnable games. Then they go and face the Eagles. I'll definitely give them a win there. At home, fantastic. Then they're on their bye. Then they go and face the Chargers for the first time. Like I said, I'll probably have them split these season series. I'll have them split against the Chargers. I probably have them lose both against the Chiefs, and that's no disrespect to this Broncos team. It's just I'm giving so much respect on this Chiefs blowing the Super Bowl and having this kind of revenge season. So these losses against the Chiefs are not on anything that the Broncos are going to do. Then you go and face the Lions. That's an easy win right there. You face the Bengals. Once again, an easy win right there. Should we say they split against the Raiders? We'll have them split against the Raiders. And then they split against the Chargers. We already gave them their win. And then they face the Chiefs the last game of the season. They are at home for that game. They probably lose that game just because, like I said, it is the Chiefs. So we're counting 9 wins. And like I said, I'm going to give them just one more win. Just for maybe the Ravens, the Steelers, maybe they go and beat the Raiders twice. So really solid season right here. Potential to go 10-7, and this is going to be a good year for the Broncos. They don't have any alarming teams that they have to face. Obviously the Chiefs, but that's in their own division. But outside of their own division, just the Ravens, the Steelers, the Cowboys. This is a real good season, real good schedule for this Broncos team that is decently trying to rebuild, but also while trying to win games as well. So, real good year for the Broncos. Let's put them on our list. They are the first team going on our list, so we can't move the list around any because there's only one team. So we're going to have the Denver Broncos. Real solid overall, folks. This is going to be a real solid team. Denver Broncos, we'll give them 10-7. I'm even going to bump them up one more, /11-6. Just in case we have any tiebreakers here when we're ranking our teams. This Denver Broncos team, they're looking to have all the pieces right here. Alrighty, so that was our kind of, season refresher on the Broncos going into the season. So we've got 31 other teams left to do, and we did pretty good. We did pretty good with time. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back tomorrow doing a whole new team. Who will the team be? We don't know. It's going to be random. I thought it went pretty smoothly here. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we are back tomorrow.